And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to being your consumer advocate. It's all about helping you as the consumer out there, our radio listener, our TV show viewers on Apple TV, Amazon, and Roku, as well as 4 o'clock drive time right here on AM 860 The Answer. Got the FM translator as well, 93.7 FM, and also weekend show on FM 102.5 The Bone on Sunday mornings. And our goal is to help you win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it. 813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline number. It's an off-air number as well, 813-670-7372. You can call or text our hotline.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
And we want to help you win in any marketplace. As we say, that's the goal of our show here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks in studio. Chuck Peterson in the house, Suncoast Roofing. Welcome in, sir.
Thank you. That's nice and chilly down here in the Tampa Bay area. So
Yeah.
I don't know, y'all making fun of me for wearing shorts today, and all y'all got on nice long pants, long coats. Big B over there dressed up, nice white shirt.
Yeah, man. Have my tan suit on today.
Sheesh.
You know,
Making moves.
Mixing
making
it up.
moves. Yeah.
mixing it up. Get to wear the suits today.
Yeah.
Fred Muth in the house as well. Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Welcome in, sir.
Well, thank you so much. You said intelligent
Yeah.
right next to me. This is the guy with the shorts on.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of brains, let me tell you.
Somebody's got to be the brains of this operation, right?
Yeah, man. Well, we also have LIma in house. Welcome in, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Always a pleasure to be here. This
Blackbelt
this
fitness and
not-
martial arts.
Not my weather, man. My bloodline is tropical. We don't
Yeah.
do this. So.
Yeah, we're not saying anything about Alex while we're sitting over here, too. Just don't want to be mad at us today.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm between you guys. I'm the first guy to take a hit.
It's all love.
As long as I can get past you, I'm good.
So we got a good lineup for you today. Great lineup for you today as well. And Alex, you're training for you hopefully have a competition coming up in March, right?
No, 100%. I believe it's March. It's March 28th. I'm going to be doing a round robin, submission only tournament.
Nice.
So yeah, looking forward to that.
Very cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So we want to help you win in any marketplace. Over 50 categories of consumer advocate content here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We've got 3 of the best here in studio today. And it's all about helping you understand more about your buying decisions, being your consumer advocate. This segment is brought to you by the Golf Cart Depot. Check them out online at golfcartdepot.com. And whether new or used golf carts available, they got huge inventory. Easy Go, Star, City Car, and other types of golf carts available as well. And whether you're planning it for personal use or commercial use, check them out online, Golf Cart Depot. They also are located on US 41 North right there in Land Lakes, also off of US 19 in Clearwater as well. And go in and give them a test drive as well. Come on in and give a test drive. It says Marty. Marty's the owner. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. And we use ours to go out, and we got the Keller Williams Red, so we use ours to go out and door knock in the communities there. So we just went out yesterday with some of our real estate agents, went out there door knocking and being involved in the community, getting out there and doing that guerrilla marketing, as they say, right? So, all right, excellent stuff here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. A couple of hot real estate property listings that we've got. 861 Mandalay Avenue. We just did a price reduction at 861 Mandalay Avenue on Clearwater Beach. This property is listed around the $689,000 price mark. Great opportunity to own a beachfront property here in Tampa Bay, a beach property rather. You got 200 steps, and you're on the sugar sand beaches and dolphin-filled waters of North Clearwater Beach. Also, Harbor Point Drive is a beautiful property that we have in Port Richey. This is a $2 million property that we have listed, and this one is a Gulf Front Palace. This property is right on the waterway, direct access into the deep water fishing. Bring your boat, enjoy the pool, enjoy the 6,700 square feet of under air living space that you have here at this beautiful property in Tampa Bay. Check out all of our real estate properties at platinummvpteam.com. All right, we got Chuck Peterson back in studio. He is a wealth of knowledge around roofing. So you got the roofing things happening here.
Yeah. Yep. That we do.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So I say today, we talk about all kind of different things going on the roof. We should talk about the underlayment on the roof today.
Okay. Underlayment.
So that's the item that goes right on top of your wood deck, once we take all your shingles off and we fix your wood and re-nail it back to code, back in the day, we used to put the old tar paper down there, rolled it out, nailed it down. So technology has advanced on that as well as the shingles that we always talk about. So the new products that are out the last few years are called peel and stick.
Peel and stick.
Yep. So it's a 3-foot wide roll, just like the old tar paper, but you peel it out, and the underlayment, you pull it off. It's sticky on the bottom side. You lay it down on your roof from end to end, and it sticks straight to your plywood.
Nice.
And then when we get some warmer weather, not like today, we get back in those 70s for Fred so he can put his shorts back on. Then
I got them on. You didn't see them.
Yeah, I'm glad. So then it just sticks to your roof deck. So it's like I always tell people, it's like taking duct tape and putting it on your window and letting it heat up for 3 or 4 days trying to get it off.
Right.
Then it's stuck on your roof deck. And that does two things for you. It literally makes it so if we get another storm, which at some point in time we're going to get it, I mean, there's no question, and the shingles peel off, or the tile or the metal, doesn't matter what house you have, this goes underneath all of it. And this is really what keeps your house watertight for all products. The peel and stick stays on. It will not come off unless your roof deck comes off. And at that point, it really is a moot point.
Well, they say Tampa Bay is protected from the Indian burial grounds or something along those lines.
At some point, if somebody passes the Indian burial grounds, then you're still protected.
Okay.
And then the second thing that it does for you is once we're done with the roof, you can call our buddy Jay and get a wind mitt, right?
Yes, Jay Smith.
Yep. And you get a wind mitigation and send that to your insurance company, and they will lower your insurance for having that on there. It's called a secondary water barrier. Plus, your roof has been re-nailed to code. So you have two things that are better than what you started with, and your insurance company will give you a reduction of some point, some type in the future.
So even though you got the peel and stick, you're still nailing it down to the
peel and stick doesn't get nailed.
Okay.
No, it just sticks straight on there. I mean, that's what it's made for. So you have way less penetrations.
Nice.
So because the felt paper, you have 12 nails in a 2-foot square by code. So you've got 1,000 nails just on the front piece of your house just to nail that on, and then you put the shingles on. This eliminates all those nails. So you
less
have
labor.
Well, it's not less labor per se, but it's less. It's less penetrations into the roof deck.
Right.
And it's a membrane, so it's not necessarily the old tar paper is an asphalt-based product, and this is asphalt in it, but it's more of a membrane, so it heats and cools, so it moves with your house because your roof heats and cools.
Right.
And so it doesn't crack over time, where the old asphalt would get hot and cold, and then the roof would move around just a hair and it would crack.
That's right.
And then once it cracked and water gets underneath your tile or your metal or shingles, whatever it is, then it goes right into your house, and there's no way to stop it.
Yeah. And you see also a lot of times with residential properties, the soffit and fascia just seems to be just kind of like wearing down.
Yep. And a lot of that is because that water gets underneath those shingles, and it gets underneath that tar paper, but the roof's still pretty good. The plywood's still pretty good. So the water's just running down, trying to get out.
Right.
So it's underneath that tar paper. It runs down to the bottom of the roof, but it can't get out because you have the drip edge there. So it sits there and it rots out the bottom course of that plywood.
Right.
What rots out your fascia and drips right straight through to your soffit, and it just rots that out as well.
So in that situation, sometimes you don't need a complete roof replacement. You can do some of the spot treatment.
You could, but it's going to be, once it gets to that extent, by the time we tear off the whole bottom piece of your roof and fix the leak at the top where it's really leaking at, you're probably spent a third of the money it costs you to put a brand new roof on anyway.
Right.
So there's at some point there's a time and money item where you have to make a business decision. Are we going to pay to fix this and hope it holds, or are we just going to pay to fix it right and be done?
Right. Yeah, we're talking with Chuck Peterson here, Suncoast Roofing, on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, and we also talk about that 50-year warranty. Correct. GAF.
Right. So for your shingles, which we always talk about as the most economic, most value for your dollar, not necessarily the most economical, which it is, but it's the most value too, is for your dollar, because we're GAF Master Elite Contractors, which is the top 2% in the state. We can offer a 50-year warranty on those shingles. Now that comes with the peel and stick. That's a requirement by GAF as well, is to have the peel and stick underneath that.
Right.
Because they know that's going to really keep your roof in good shape, and it helps the shingles because it does move around a little bit when the shingles move around.
Right.
So, but it's a 50-year warranty. So if you own the house, you get to transfer it one time. So 10, 15 years from now, if you have Brandon come sell your house, it goes right to the next owner, and it's a very simple 1 3x5 card thing to send a GAF to switch that transfer over.
Nice.
That's
awesome.
Yeah, it's the best in the business.
And we talk about Jay Smith, the Snoop Dogg, for the full home inspections, but for a roof inspection, you guys can go out there and do that.
Well, we could do just a roof inspection, right?
Yep.
Yeah. What we were talking about for him, even on that, was just a wind mitigation, which he can do as well. It's different than the 4-point.
Right.
It's something that your insurance company requires in order to have somebody verify what's at your house for them, not necessarily for you. So and we have him do all of ours. So
awesome.
he does all of ours, but he's really good, and it's very inexpensive.
Very expensive.
So we do that, but then back to the roof inspections.
Yes.
Kind of like we were talking about last time. I mean, it is time to get your roof looked at before the rainy season hits. If you had a little leak last year and it hadn't leaked a little bit because we had any rain, that doesn't mean really that your leak went away. It's not how that works.
They don't go away, right?
No. And by the time it's leaking in your house, your roof is in very compromised position at that point. Not that we can't fix it, but it's it's past where you should have had somebody looking at it.
And you probably find mold in some of those cases too, don't you?
You could, but a lot of it's just because if it's a big leak that would cause a lot of mold, they're going to call right away.
Yeah.
It's really those little ones where you see a little brown spot in your ceiling, and it's been there for a month and it really hasn't changed, and you're like, oh, I'll get to it when I can.
Right.
And then when we get one of these big monsoons come April or May, that rains for 2-3 days, they're going to have a brown spot this big.
Opens it up.
Because they didn't deal with it. And then we're going to go over there and say, hey, it's not just this, it's all this.
Awesome. Yep.
But that's those inspections are free. So,
free inspection. Suncoast Roofing. Get out there.
Yep.
Get them out there. Chuck Peterson, put them to work. Suncoast Roofing on the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we got Fred Muth coming up. Tampa Screens and Aluminum. LIma as well in studio. And our feel-good story of the day, cyclist hit by truck and nearly killed, befriends the driver who hit him. Find out about that in our feel-good story of the day right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And check out consumerqb.com. We'll be right back after this short timeout. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
This is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with Kansas Star.
62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill, but actually it's our 39th week. 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember anymore. Ask Anthony about
Yes.
To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards.
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector, we want to introduce you to our 50+ show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back to right. We've got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the next step image. I love that image because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We want to help you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, or investing. We would love to talk to you. My wife and I own a top 1% real estate team here in Tampa Bay, over $20 million in volume sold in 2019, and we are looking for agents as well that might be interested in joining our team. So have them reach out, 813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline. Check out the website, consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors. You can submit an email form, and you can even see some of our previous shows at consumerqb.com. And this segment is brought to you by Taps Restaurant, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show, located at the International Plaza on Bay Street right here in Tampa. And it's an awesome patio area. They've got dogs, seating for dogs out there. If you want to bring your dogs, you can enjoy some of that time with your furry friends, bring them outside. You also have a great ambiance, very friendly staff, excellent food. Daily happy hours as well over at Taps Restaurant at the International Plaza on Bay Street. And it's a local gastro pub as well, and they have craft beers. Taps Restaurant, Bar and Lounge. Also, save the date, Wednesday, March 25th. We're going to be having Tampa Bay's largest speed networking event, 3.0. This is a 3.0 version. Save the date, Wednesday, March 25th. In the evening, we're going to be having an event over at Taps Restaurant. We're going to have a DJ there, excellent food, and a very awesome time to meet, a lot of expert contributors of the show, a lot of local business owners and salesmen and women, and get your business networking going on over at Taps Restaurant, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we got a hot property listing here available over in Wesley Chapel. This is for Pasco County listeners here, 33308 Camerton Road in Wesley Chapel. This is over 5 acres, available 4-bedroom, 2-bath property in Wesley Chapel. So lots of land, equestrian area. You could utilize horses there and get out the ATVs, 4-wheelers, 3-wheelers, have some fun out there in the rural areas of Wesley Chapel. Also, we've got some land available here at 39015 Pretty Pond Road in Zephyr Hills. This is, again, Pasco County, Zephyr Hills, kind of more a little bit rural area, 39015 Pretty Pond over, and it's a great opportunity to live in just a beautiful area, build a house. You could utilize that land in whatever way you would like. And check out a lakefront lot right here. So right on a lake. If you ever want to live on the lake, check it out. Check out all of our properties at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. All right, so we heard from Chuck Peterson in segment 1 there, Suncoast Roofing. More from Chuck coming up in our lightning round. But let's talk with Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, back in the house. Welcome in, sir.
Oh, thank you. Happy decade to everybody.
Brand new decade.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine that, right?
Yeah.
How'd that happen? Wow. Here
2020.
We are. You talk about peel and stick, Chuck. We use that as well on some of these composite roofs that we install. The homeowners associations, they want the top to simulate the shingle on the home.
Right.
So there's a peel and stick product. It's called the modified shingle.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Once you put it down, you'll never take it off because the heat continues to basically vulcanize it, glue it. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yep.
And on the composite roof panels, there's a seam every 4 feet.
Yep.
And typically, if they ever do leak, it's at the seam.
Yeah, as always.
Once you put that product on, there's no leak ever going to happen.
Yeah, it is clearly the best stuff.
Yeah, it's nice, very nice. And
Good
then,
innovation.
Now that we're on the subject of roofs, when I'm quite often I'm the third guy in on an estimate. And Mr. and Mrs. Smith are so confused now. Everybody's told them a different story.
Yeah.
I can only sell a job as though I'm going to sell it to myself. Otherwise, I can't sell it.
Right.
And give you some examples. And Chuck, you would understand this because you touched on rotted fascia and rotted soffit.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking about soffits. If you don't have the height to put an aluminum roof to the house, typically you have to hit the fascia.
Right.
Yeah.
If you have a 4-inch fascia board and you have a 2.5-inch drip edge, that's out of the question. I have seen where other aluminum contractors, they'll put that roof right up against the drip edge.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and then 6 months later, it's nothing but a problem.
It's
Wow.
It's a problem
It's so
from
bad.
ever on.
So people say to me, "What do you do now?" Well, either I get in underneath, but if there's no height to do that, I'm sort of dead in the water. In some cases, we can put a structural gutter in there and attach to the gutter, but that's not always your best application.
Right.
And then another scenario I run into quite often is on a 2-story home. Ground floor, first 10 feet's masonry, the next 10 feet's is stud with stucco over top.
Right. Yep.
And they want a 11 or 12 foot attachment. Well, I won't do that. My competition do it all day long. Biggest problem with that is once you hit that
the wood.
Well, you're gonna connect to the wood through the stucco.
Okay.
So now, guess what happens when you tighten down? Somewhere back there, everything's cracked.
Stucco.
You can't see it because it's behind the receiving channel. I don't care how much caulk or sealer you put on there. 6-8 months down the road, you got water in the house. I'll lose the job before I'll do it, before I'll sell it. And Tampa Screens, they appreciate that.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, because it's a long term. It's going to show up at some point, right? And then it's going to come back to you. You didn't do it right. It was your.
Well, I just can't do it. I just can't take your money for something. I mean,
Exactly.
I walk away from jobs in some cases, and I'll get a call a year later from that customer. They got a problem. There's a court situation. They want my testimony.
Exactly. Now you're down at the courthouse.
Yeah, no, I'll write up whatever they want and send it to them. That's all I do.
Yeah. You get similar situations in real estate. Sometimes people want to price their house way overpriced, and things. I walk away from it. It's not worth. It's. We have a saying at Keller Williams is it has to be a win-win. We're not going to do a win-lose situation, whether it's the client winning and us losing, or us winning and the client losing. And in that case, the client would lose because we're going to price their property. We're going to generate leads, and their house is not going to sell.
Well, your broker's opinion of value is very valuable.
Yeah, exactly.
It's extremely valuable. And if you could talk to Ray Hall, and he'll tell you that your numbers are typically in line with an appraiser's numbers in most cases.
Yep.
Most realtors have a lot of years' experience pricing properties.
That's right.
So, and a BPO is a freebie. Respect it.
Yeah.
Use it. It's if it's worth $250, don't ask $3.
But the market's so good. It's been so good. So
don't
long,
matter. Don't
right?
ask $3.
Exactly.
You're not going to get it. You're just going to waste everybody's time.
So we talk about Tampa Screens and aluminum here, the in-between space. You got that gorgeous opportunity to build on, and we're looking at your website here if you're watching our TV show version, Tampa Screens and Aluminum right there on Florida Avenue in Tampa. But beautiful property, very limited obstruction of views now with some of the newer style that you have.
Yeah, I like the panoramic view. That's, I'll tell you, that's the top of the line when it comes to a pool cage. Whatever your backdrop is, and of course, take an area like Cheval, and I use Cheval because I sold quite a few in Cheval. The backdrop is beautiful, and when they look out of their $750,000 home, their $25,000 cage and pool, and they see nothing but uprights, we can change that. We change it out to where you'll have a span of 20 feet without an upright.
Nice.
That's nice. All fabric, all screen fabric, and then you can see beyond that. To me, that's fantastic. It's a little more expensive, but to me, it's well worth it.
Now, let me ask you guys, Fred and Chuck, in the past, we've talked about some of the challenges in your industry, right? A lot of times you hear about personnel, finding good help, finding good employees. And we've talked about the aluminum industry as well, specific there. Are you still finding challenges with personnel and, some of the business owners I talk to, they say, we would like to grow, but we can't find the right people to fill the jobs?
Well, with Tampa Screens, one thing I will say, the majority of their installers have been with them for a very long time. and they get paid very well. And I'll have a customer ask me to, come on, give me a better deal. And I'll say, well, basically, the installer may have to take less, and I don't think that's going to happen in this case because they get paid very well. And the installer can make or break your job.
Yeah.
But based on, what you initiated this conversation with, when the storms hit, everybody's behind. No matter what you do, you're never going to get enough labor. And I used to make the comment, if there were 15,000 good screen enclosure installers 20 years ago on the west coast of Florida, there's still 15,000 good screen enclosure installers. And look at how real estate market has advanced.
Yeah.
So, screen enclosure installers are a breed of their own.
Yep.
They're not like framers. Some of them start out as framers and then they go into the aluminum industry. But if you look at a pool cage and the dynamics of how you assemble it and roll the fabric in and keep it tight as a drum, and I mean, these guys walk the beams. They're 2-inch wide beams. They're up there telling jokes and stories, walking the beams, rolling the fabric in, and they jump off, and then they go home, and it's the next morning they do the same thing over and over again. I get nervous thinking about it, but I can sell it,
Yeah, exactly.
How about you, Chuck?
Our industry is completely different than that as far as labor goes, because we have crews that have been with us for a long time, but then you have all the rest of the guys that are just in and out and in and out and in and out.
So all right, we're going to pick up on that when we come back in this third segment here. Yep. Chuck Peterson, Fred Muth, Alex LIma coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Stay with us. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after this short break.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
This is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with D'Angelo Star.
The 62 who knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill, but actually it's our 39th week. 62 who knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo!
Ask it to me about
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left-hand white, and then they catch the left-hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector, we want to introduce you to our 50+ show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back to life. We've got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step Image. I love that name because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And we want to help you win in your real estate business. Of course, over 80 categories of consumer advocate content here every day, 4 o'clock drive time on AM 860 The Answer. Got a weekend show on FM 102.5 The Bone. We syndicate our show content as well, our TV show on Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Sony TV, 85 other smart television outlets. Also, WeBeam TV here as well. Shout out to Tampa Bay Multimedia as well. And we are back here in studio. We got Chuck Peterson in the house, Suncoast Roofing. Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, a.k.a. the Tin Man in the house. And LIma coming up here as well, Blackbelt Fitness and Martial Arts. Talk about self-defense here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And this segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving. The official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is Brothers Easy Moving. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that they are a first-class organization. They did a great job moving my family to our new lake house, and they can do either long-distance or local moves for you and your family as well. Give Gary Thacker a call. Let him know the real estate quarterback sent you. He's Brothers Easy Moving. He's the owner and president. Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. 2677 Pine Ridge Way in Palm Harbor is another one of our real estate property listings available. Priced accordingly, very well priced property here. 2677 Pine Ridge Way in Palm Harbor, unit number D3. So this is a third floor unit available in Palm Harbor. Vaulted ceiling in the main area. You got some nice views as well, looking at the pond there, the lake pond right here in Tampa Bay. And check out all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, we got LIma in the house, Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts. Always talk about self-defense. There's a lot of things that happen out there. People don't realize it's not in the mainstream media. You don't see it, but we hear about those things, and we want people to protect themselves.
Absolutely. I'm blessed that I grew up doing this stuff pretty much my entire life, and it's gotten me the opportunity to interact with a lot of people. I've trained with combat veterans. I've trained combat veterans, military, police, law enforcement, first responders as well, firefighters, paramedics, hospital staff. I've gotten to work with a bunch of great people, and all those people come with different scenarios that they face, like the threats that a real estate agent, for example, will be facing as they're showing a home or something like that is going to be different than like a paramedic that rolls on scene to a crack house or something like that. So there's a lot of variables that you have to take into account when you're training for something.
So what's the number one thing you have to do? Just like be aware, right? Be aware of your surroundings, not head down in your phone.
Absolutely. Awareness is probably the biggest one. I call it, situational awareness. And that takes place in combat sports as well. Like, you have to know when you're backing up during the fight, without taking a look back, am I getting close to the cage? Am I getting close to the ropes? Am I working myself into a corner? So you need situational awareness in all forms of combat.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You were mentioning it too. My favorite guy is Tony Robbins.
Yeah,
been his business mastery, but he was talking to Connor after the fight, or he walked out with him.
Yeah, this past Saturday he was essentially in Connor's corner. So Connor has been. That shows you that the mental game is absolutely huge in everything we do. Obviously, but in combat sports specifically. He's got the man right now. He's got Tony Robbins in his corner. They're good friends, and he was in his head before the fight, getting him, saying the mantras and things like that, prepping him. Because Connor's huge on visualization, and we know in order to be truly successful, you need to be able to visualize that win. So.
That's right. Yeah, visualization. More and more of the Olympic athletes are doing that. You've seen that happen. I know Tony's coached Serena Williams. He's coached, a number of different athletes and presidents and. As well, but so that's interesting. So he was walking out with Conor McGregor, huh?
Yeah, man. There's tons of pictures of them together. Arm in arm. Hanging out. They're good buddies, and cool. It's in everything. A win's a win, whether it's in business, it's in combat sports, or it's in your life with relationships, and a lot of it has to do with your perspective and mindset. The way you can mentally shift a situation in your head.
Yeah. Physiology. He's got his 3 that he called. Physiology. how we use our body, our breath, our posture. There's studies that show if you stand in the position with your chest up, shoulders back, or hands however you want, your body's going to be creating 20% more testosterone just by the way you use your body.
Yeah, you're poised exactly the way that you are.
Yeah,
and that happens in the medical field as well. I've been a paramedic for a long time. A lot of times people that are anxious and they're freaking out about something, you tend to hyperventilate. And when you hyperventilate, you're going to create more symptoms and stuff. You're going to start cramping in your hands. Same thing can happen in a fight. You start panicking. What happens when we panic? We start talking faster. We start breathing faster. I'm not getting enough carbon dioxide exchange and oxygen exchange in my body. It's all about how you can control yourself. So a lot of times when I teach a self-defense seminar, the very first thing I tell, it's like when I did a rape prevention seminar, I said, look, if you don't take anything else away from me from the seminar, do this. I want you, if you're ever in a situation, God forbid, I want you to stop, think, breathe, and then fight, and then figure out what you're going to do. But you need to stop and take a breath, get your composure, and then get in there and decide what you have to do.
That's right. Yeah, Alex LIma here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Black belt fitness and martial arts. He's got a local dojo studio, martial arts studio right here in Tampa, off of Waters Avenue in Tampa. And with the breathing, I wanted to go through what he does. He talks about what he does is priming. And it's also something that a lot of the Army Rangers and the SEALs, Navy SEALs, will do. And the way he does it is he puts his hands up and he does breathing, deep breathing. So he's like powerful, like faster than that, more intense than that. I'm trying to save the listeners to blowing on the mind. But priming, what does that do to your body?
Well, we do that in fighting as well. If you watch like actual fights in Thailand, like Muay Thai, the Thai boxers are very, very proficient at that. If we've all taken got the wind knocked out of us, had a hard shot to the stomach or something like that, you're gasping for air. You feel like you're drowning for a second, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to breathe real hard, flex, get those organs shifted, and get back in business. It's kind of like Control-Alt-Delete for your breathing. To get you back into the fight. So.
Yeah, and he does like 30 reps of that, breathing, and he's big on the cryo as well. Cryotherapy, jumping into a cold water plunge.
Are you familiar with William Hoff, the Hoff breathing method? Look that up. William Hoff. It's either HOF or HOFF. He's a master breather. He's the guy that he can get, basically he's like in his underwear and he gets in ice and he can sit there for like 30-40 minutes and he just breathes, and with his breathing puts himself into a meditative state. Put some of those breathing practice with like the Tony Robbins methods together, man, and you can pretty much with your mind be able to conquer anything.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that same guy, but there's a guy that actually climbed Everest like that.
I'm not positive.
Unbelievable. With no absorbent clothing. I mean, it just like that's the story.
It's the mental game.
It's the mind. It's the power of the mind, man.
Absolutely. I tell people when I'm training them, whether it's for combat situations or even physical fitness, your mind is going to give up before your body does.
Right.
A lot of times like, oh, this is too hard. If you're telling yourself this is hard, this sucks, you're going to stop, you're going to quit. But if you're like, no, I got this, you might surprise yourself and bust out another 30 reps of something that you were going to quit a minute ago.
Right.
Same thing in a fight. You're taking a beating and it's like, oh, I'm losing, this sucks, I'm going to get hurt. You can't panic like that. You have to be like, all right, no, I got this. Let's go. That's stay in the fight. Stay in the fight. Let's go.
That's why incantations are so important. The affirmations, incantations, however you want to name it, but just telling yourself, I'm powerful. I'm blessed and highly favored. Money I attract money every day. Whatever incantations you have, those are the things that you say to yourself throughout the day. Morning, noon, and night. Just constantly repeating that to yourself. I'm blessed and highly favored. If you ever get down, you ever get depressed, repeat those. It's going to help bring you out of it.
For sure. Your thoughts are going to manifest your reality.
Yeah.
If you're a negative person, you're always thinking the world is out to get you. What do you think your everyday is going to be like? You're going to attract that. You're a magnet for that.
That's right.
But if you're a positive person, you're like, no, I'm going to win. I'm powerful beyond measure. I'm like, I got this. But don't be cocky. Don't be arrogant.
Yep.
But bless yourself. Tell yourself these positive things.
That's right.
Overall, your perspective, your perception of life is going to be more positive. You're going to bring in more positive things in your life. I'm a firm believer in that.
One of my favorites I heard from Bob Proctor, I think it was, he says, I'm so happy and grateful now that money flows to me in increasing quantities from multiple sources on a continuous basis.
Sure, man.
And he's got tracks where he just literally repeats that for 30 minutes at a time.
Yeah, it's all about that ether. I'm sure, have you ever Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich?
Yeah.
Phenomenal book, tapping into that ether. And essentially, to summarize, it's this power, it's this energy that's in the universe that's
right.
If you can vibrate right, if you can put yourself with it, man, you can draw it in, you can pull it in.
Yeah. Super cool stuff. So tell us on a practical level. I know you're working with children, you're working with adults, you're working with people, women that have been battered. Talk to us a little bit about what you're doing and helping people in the community.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of things going on. It's pretty amazing. Speaking about manifesting things in your life, I'm kind of booked out to like essentially April with like events and things. I'm going to seminars. I got competitions coming up. The next big one my seminars and stuff are huge, and my fights, of course, I'm very proud of. But the next thing that I'm really, really excited for, we've done it once before, is I'm teaming up with Gigi's Playhouse. For those that aren't familiar with Gigi's Playhouse, it's a center in Tampa that specializes in working with adults and children with Down syndrome. And you know, guys, you have to realize that they get bullied just as much, if not more, than anybody else as adults and children. People mess with them. People are jerks. You know?
Yep.
But we've done it once before. It's a big thing. I'm excited. They invited me to go back out there again. I want to do it. And essentially what I do is I go out there, I show them a good time. You know, we have them bow like they're doing a real class, and they are doing a real class, you know, but it's catered more to them. But at the same time, I want them to take away some self-defense tips and stuff like that. And it's huge because Gigi's is partnered with like the Tampa Bay Lightning and stuff like that. So it's a big deal. And I don't do it just, you know, for PR things, but it's good exposure for their program that they have, you know, Gigi's Playhouse, and for Blackbelt Fitness and Martial Arts Club as well. Yeah. Because we like to do things besides just train and fight. We like to do things for the community. You know, we did the things for the, was it Hurricane Dorian and that came through the Bahamas and things like this with Gigi's Playhouse. So we're always looking for a way to give back. So.
That's right. Yeah, that's awesome. And you know, the caring like that is going to come back. And you know, it's one of those things where too, I think people have this premonition or this belief that it won't happen to me. Yeah. Yet we know the statistics. Certain amount of people are raped every year in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is one of the largest areas for human trafficking. Yep. All those types of things. We talk with Thomas King from Florida Firearms Academy. All these types of shootings that go on. They bust your door down and come into your home. Home invasion. You know, so there's all these things that happen. So I would urge people to get, have classes, take classes with Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts. Yeah. Learn how to protect yourself and what to look out for.
Yeah, I've said it before, and I will continue to say it, and I say it during my classes. You know, every single person that has ever been attacked, I promise you, they did not wake up that day and think that it was going to happen to them. So you can't have this mentality where you're just blissfully unaware and thinking, oh, nothing's ever going to happen to me. Nobody ever thought something was going to happen to them. You didn't think you were going to get into a car accident. You did though, didn't you? Right. You know, are you prepared for that? Did you have your insurance? Okay, well, glad you took preparations for that. Well, what about for defending your life and defending the life of your children and people that you care about? Take preparations for that.
Oh, yeah. I've known people in the past too, they were just out at a restaurant and all of a sudden sucker punch, boom, they didn't even see it coming, didn't even know the person was approaching them. You know, those types of things happen. So people, we have this thought that, oh, it's not going to happen to me. But those are the same people that go out and buy the lottery ticket and say, I'm going to win tonight. I'm going to win. What? I know it's 20 million. I'm going to win it.
Yeah. It's the probability of you getting attacked and having to be in a fist fight by the end of the day is going to be greater than you hitting that scratch off ticket that's going to win you 20 million, and you don't got to worry about it anymore. Yeah. You can hire me to protect you now.
That's right. Alex LIma, Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts Club right here in Tampa Bay. You can see all of our expert contributors on our website at consumerqb.com. You can also call in if you'd like to be introduced to any of our expert contributors here. Call our hotline 813-670-7372. When we come back, more from our expert contributors. We're going to jump into our lightning round and our feel-good story of the day about the cyclist that was hit by a truck and nearly killed befriends the driver who hit him. Find out about that. More from our expert contributors right after this break. Don't go anywhere.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. Ian Beckles.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with D'Angelo Star.
The 62 who knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62 who knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember. Ask it to me about
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay. Welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
you're super connected. We want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to...
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that name because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
You're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
I'm just happy to get
And
up
we're
in the
back.
morning.
Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. Check out our book on Amazon, published author, professional speaker, Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Become the MVP in your industry by surfing the radio waves, kind of leading to our Business Growth Celebrity Academy, the company that we launched with Ken Shamrock, the UFC Hall of Famer and WWF wrestling legend, now founder of Valor BK as well. So he is our business partner on that company as well. Real excited. Pulling some opportunities here. We're trying to get into the Shark Tank show that is on, you've seen that on CNBC, and working with some folks that have been on the show. So we've got some cool things in the hopper here that we're working on, but real excited about that. Check it out on Amazon, and let us know that you did. We'd love to thank you for that. Now, every day we're going to tell you something positive in our feel-good story of the day. We got Chuck Peterson in the house, Suncoast Roofing, Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, Alex LIma as well, Blackbelt Fitness and Martial Arts Club. We're coming up on our lightning round right after our feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
All right, so a cyclist who was nearly killed after being hit by a motorist is now friends with the man who hit him. Last Memorial Day weekend, Jack Keith, 46, was driving along the Pacific Coast Highway after a morning surf. He was distracted by the waves for a moment and accidentally drifted in the bike lane. The next thing he knew, the cyclist was airborne. Quote, "It all happened so quickly, I looked down and boom, I just saw him flying through the air." Keith immediately pulled over and dialed 911. Tom Sevilla was rushed to the hospital where he was found to have fractured back, broken pelvis, torn knee ligaments, bruised intestines, and has also suffered from 2 blood clots in his brain. Keith was unable to get the information from the hospital on Sylvie's condition, but he was able to get in touch with one of the witnesses who later contacted his wife, Jeanette, on his behalf. 5 days later after the incident, she reached out. Quote, "She texted me on my lunch break saying, 'Hey, this is Jeanette, Tom's wife, the guy who's been involved in the accident. We're going to be all right. We've been praying for you.' A few days later, Keith was invited to visit Sevilla in the hospital. And quote, "I was blown away that they were okay with me being there and that they were worried about me. It was nice to see the healing process start. And I felt nothing but love from this man for the situation that's unheard of. Holding on to this just eats away at you," Sevilla said. Think of people that can't understand that, then people that would learn to forgive, because forgiveness is a big part of your own mental and physical health. And they echoed the sentiment and said, quote, "We could live our lives angry and bitter and look at all the things that have happened to us, but why? It doesn't help anything." So cool story there. That's awesome. Forgiveness.
That's the name of the game right there, right?
Very cool, man.
He could have held on to that for the rest of his life and just been tortured.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
really.
right.
I mean, it's just, you see it happen every day. It's just terrible.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
All right, good lightning round.
Yeah, that went the way that it did, and the guy was okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that he even called 911. A lot of cowards just keep driving.
Yeah,
How many times do we see it?
Oh,
St.
yeah.
Pete, another hit and run in St. Pete.
Yeah.
You see it happen all the time.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into our lightning round.
The lightning round.
I am so good at lightning rounds.
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right, here we go. Top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Chuck Peterson, Suncoast Roofing.
All right, so we'll go back to some from last year, right? Don't give a guy that comes to your door 50% deposit. Sign the contract the day he's there. Don't do it. take your time, do some research, make sure people are licensed to do what they're supposed to do, that they actually are approved in the state of Florida to do the things that you're asking them to do. Do a little research.
Do some research. Be a diligent consumer.
Correct.
Excellent.
Correct.
Fred Muth, the Tin Man, Tampa Screens and Aluminum.
I always suggest to Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the homeowners, ask a lot of questions. Every representative of any company, whether it's a roofing contractor, a screen enclosure company, they should be willing to answer the questions. There's no question that comes across our plate that is considered a bad question. Also, I want to tell you, I went to see 2 customers yesterday. Brandon, the first customer I go to see, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, and Mrs. Homeowner asked Mr. Homeowner about this, and he says, honey, this is the in-between space. And I said to him, I go, gee, I use that line. He goes, I know, I heard you on the radio.
Nice.
Yeah. So the second guy I go to see, I go and I shake my hand. He goes, how you doing, Tin Man?
Tin Man.
I said, this is amazing. This radio show really gets out there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Awesome.
Thanks for telling us that story. That's awesome, man.
That's it. That's all I have for this minute.
All right.
Okay.
Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Thanks so much.
On to you, Alex.
Alex LIma, Blackbelt Fitness and Martial Arts Club.
Yeah, I guess just going back to what we were talking about people being unaware, thinking that it's not going to happen to them. It's a little ignorant. And when I say ignorant, I want to clarify that when ignorance does not mean that you're unintelligent. It just means you're uneducated in a certain area.
Yes.
So most people that don't want to train with firearms or get their concealed carry permit or train self-defense, they're kind of they're scared of violence, quote unquote.
Right.
Just remember that all those people that are opposed to violence and don't want you to know how to defend yourself and stuff, remember that you are surrounded and protected by people that are skilled and knowledgeable in violence. Your military, your police officers, guys like me are the ones that are going to take action in the event something goes down.
That's right.
It'd be nice to have a little backup though, so you should learn to protect yourself and protect your family, because you are the first responder if God forbid something happens in your home. If there's a delay, you're going to call 911 because that's what you're going to do instead of pulling your weapon or fighting for your life. There's a delay. There's going to be some time that is going to pass before help actually arrives. A lot can happen in that little in-between time. So
absolutely.
Just be aware.
Yeah, absolutely. My tip for today is going to be to develop the discipline of clear thinking. I think too many times we rush into decisions, as Chuck mentioned, with the roofing scams out there when hurricanes come by and the storms come through. We rush into decisions. But if you think of it as developing the discipline of clear thinking, and you want to think of it as a bucket of silt. So you got a bucket of dirt here. It's shaken up, it's cloudy, right? But the longer you let it sit, that silt is going to sit to the bottom. It's going to become more clear. So I think that happens. It's a good translation or a metaphor with the way that things happen today in our busy life. We're just trying to get the next decision done so we can move on to the other 10,000 decisions that we make in a day. But people are so busy with iPhones and our Facebooks and things of that nature. We're bombarded with sensory input. So there's so many decisions that we make in a day. And Thomas Edison has a great quote here that says, thinking is the hardest of all disciplines. And so you want to think on paper, write it down, get it out of your head, get it onto the paper. That way you can, bring all of those ideas, the pros and cons to the top, and make better decisions. And the rule is fast decisions are usually wrong decisions, especially when it's dealing with relationships and money. You got to be really careful. So develop the discipline of clear thinking. It is crucial to your success. All right, let's do another round here. You got any more tips for us there?
Let me think.
Chuck Peterson in the house, Suncoast Roofing.
I'm trying to think. I should have 100, but
let's talk about the GAF warranty now.
We can do the GAF warranty, right? 50 years, but it's the first 25 years, non-prorated, labor, materials. If anything goes wrong, if we put the roof on wrong, if the shingles go bad, GAF pays for everything to fix it.
Beautiful. I like that one.
You can't beat it in the system. Can't beat it.
Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum.
So many times I've talked about the being very conscious of your conditions of your ground and your home. Obviously, when we pour concrete, we're taking away pervious space. Percolation goes away. And it's always been a big issue to me. Now, Hillsborough County is finally getting on the bandwagon. They are respecting this concern. And I'm not sure why it took them 20 years, but
wow.
now they're finally getting on the bandwagon to find out where the water's going to go.
Yeah.
Once we pour a slab. In other words, they've already poured how many square feet?
The home foundation. Yeah.
2,500 square feet for the foundation. We're going to add 900 for the screen room.
Yep.
Where's the water going to go? It's got to go somewhere.
That's
right. It's going to go down to the next guy's property. He pours a slab. Go to the next guy's property. Next thing you know, the kids that were playing in the ballpark. They can't. It's now a ballpark's a retention pond. And I don't say this being humorous. This is a true statement. So Hillsborough County is finally jumping on it. It's, City of Tampa has been all over this for quite some time, and I respect that.
Yep.
Temple Terrace. James lives in Temple Terrace. He knows. They're very, very conscious of where the water goes. But Hillsborough County was sort of on the back burner.
A little lackadaisical about it.
Yeah, now with all the construction, all the new homes, they're finally waking up.
Yeah, it's it's scary too when you think about the strain that tourism and the water supply that we're using a lot of water has on the land use. So the overall land use, the planning and development. It's a great point. I talked to a gentleman last week was talking about if we don't change things and bring in other industries into Florida, that there could be some huge what he called like mega sinkholes. He said he reached out to the governor, is trying to get to the governor to address this because there could be mega sinkholes in Florida.
It's very possible.
Yeah.
You're changing the entire skeleton of the state. By doing way too much construction in certain areas. And of course, our business, we feed on construction. But somewhere along the line, it has to make sense.
Yeah, exactly. We got to be careful. Hey, another great show today. I want to thank Chuck Peterson, Suncoast Roofing, Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, Alex LIma, Blackbelt Fitness and Martial Arts Club, and of course our producers, our team behind the scenes putting the show together, all of our listeners, our viewers out there. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing, carry it with you to and from your commute, hand it to that person that you see in need, be a force for good in the community, donate some blood, donate some time, maybe swing a hammer for Habitat for Humanity. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.